What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be doing something with the rear wiper. I literally cannot stand this rear wiper. This thing looks stupid, and the fact is I'm going to be getting spoiler, so I want a cleaner look. There's no other necessary explanation. We're going to take this off and I'll show you what we're putting in there. So I was absolutely influenced by SRT Ninja, my buddy on Instagram. He has this beautiful blacked out Trackhawk, and he made it even better by getting this kit. Now the funny story is this kit isn't even designed for the Jeep, for the Trackhawk, for anything. It's just a regular rear window delete plug, and I think most of the things that it lists that it's for are like Volkswagens. So I was a little skeptical, but this is what worked for him, so we're gonna give it a go. So this is what comes in the kit. There's an O-ring, there's the actual exterior piece that you'll see, and then there's this nut. Okay, this separates, and this is what you're left with. We're gonna see what works. One thing that he did do was he put this piece on the other side. He put it inside somewhere, took a Dremel to it and cut it, because since it's not designed specifically for our Jeep, there's really no easy way to tighten it because the area is different. So instead of like holding it, he put two little slits so that he could take a flathead screwdriver and give it the beans, tighten it down. So that's what we're gonna do, and I'll just show you what that ends up looking like. I can't use a Dremel, so I'm gonna put it in my little table vise and I'm gonna see if this works. Okay, so we did this. We took a little bit of this and we did some of this, and we went back and forth a little bit like that. So now we've got something that looks like this, and screwdriver actually goes in, so I can turn it on either side and give it the beans. Lots of beans going on here. I'm gonna show you. I never put my rear back together. It's still completely opened. So if you're looking on the inside, this is the motor behind this bracket. So I think what we'll end up doing is basically we can start out by unhooking this, and I think we just take 3 bolts off, and then on the outside there's 1 bolt that we're going to remove the wiper itself off, and then we're just basically filling the hole. So let's try to take this off. Of course it's a 10, and you bet your ass I have that, so let's take this bad boy off. So this is a 10 mil, and I took that nut off, and I'm going to try to remove the actual wiper. I'm sure it's attached. Okay guys, I'm pretty stupid. I was sitting here freaking out trying to figure out how to do this, and basically I don't know what I was doing. I was just messing around and being stupid, but we've got a hole now. Hey, I can see in my vehicle. The main issue I was having, and I got stuck because I'm a moron, but I don't have like a rear wiper or some kind of wiper blade pull tool. So when I took this off and I loosened this, I didn't have the tension to come off, and it just wasn't coming off. So I had to like move it a little bit like this, and it broke loose, and I thank God I had this wrapped, and this fell inside the trunk and everything was good. So now it's off and I can clean the area and everything will be fine. Just so you're aware of what's going on, this kit comes with 2 O-rings, 1 larger one and 1 smaller one. Obviously this wasn't specifically designed for our vehicles, but it's not flush with either O-ring, and that's not good, and I don't want to have it with no O-ring because that's not good. So what I did was put a generous amount of this thread sealing, pipe sealing stuff, and it's created, instead of a loose wiggle, it's nice and snug. So instead of just barely fitting in there, you have to like actually apply pressure and then go in. It's gonna look a lot nicer, way cleaner and safe. So here's the home stretch. here's where, this is what we're looking at on the inside. This is why we ended up putting the slits. So you take this, you're gonna start this on there somehow. Okay guys, we're gonna continue this rear wiper delete. I need to have a conversation with you real quick. It's a serious conversation and we're gonna discuss it right now. I usually rush into mods, into projects, into things without as much information as I need, usually ill-advised. This one I really screwed the pooch up, okay? I'm gonna leave a lot of the clips in from what I did, and as we get to this part you're gonna learn what not to do. This way you see I'm human, which I've shown time and time again. As you can see right here, there's a lot of rear wiper caps. This is the little plug. This is the main part of this whole situation. You know, getting all of this out, let me tell you what I learned from watching other videos and from doing a little bit of research that I should have done beforehand. Number one, let's pretend that this is still on the car. The number one thing I should have done that I didn't do was remove this. Well, this is supposed to be locked in, but you know, pretend this is still hinged and I didn't remove this like a caveman barbarian. You're gonna want to take this cap off, okay? There's some pressure. A lot of people have those, like, you know, pull tools and stuff. You don't really need that. As long as this is still hooked up behind the hatch, you should be fine. You could just do this. What worked for me is I went back and forth while pulling. Eventually this will come off. That is something you should do first. I didn't do that first. I had nothing but troubles. The next thing, there are 3 bolts to take this motor off. You don't need to do this. This was extra that served no purpose, and the only reason I did that, because I'll go through my thought process. If I would have done what I should have done in the beginning, I wouldn't have had to think that there was something to take off in the shaft here. There's nothing to take off there. There's no reason for you to disassemble this part from this. Saves a ton of time. So once that's done, it's basically this off first, 3 bolts, pull down. So easy, right? Awesome. Let me show you what I gotta do here. Since my truck hatch doesn't want to go up, there's a trick. I gotta do this, double tap it and disable it. And then I gotta put a pillow there so I don't destroy my paint. Yes, this is still from previous videos. I haven't finished it yet because I'm still doing projects. What I'm gonna do, since I kind of messed this up, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm gonna show you what the inside here looks like, and then I'm gonna tell you what I ended up doing. Alright. If you can see in here, the main issue I was having with the previous plug, and I'll show you examples on all the plugs. The main issue I was having is there's no flush way to mount. Let me switch to this here. Looking at it a different way. If you want to start putting in a plug, there's a bulge. I didn't know from what Ninja did that he took a Dremel and did that. I'm going to tell you 2 other things that I didn't like about the other plug. Number 1, I didn't like that I had to put slots in it. That really annoyed me. I'm not going to be a big fan of dremeling. I didn't want to do any of that. And the third thing is he told me he used silicone. I didn't see that in his video. He never mentioned it until I actually privately talked to him. I didn't want to have to do that. I didn't trust that seal. So we're going to talk about this. Sorry if this video is going to be you. Sorry if this video is going to be all over the place, but I feel like what I'm going to do right now is show you some of the other plugs, what I hate about that plug, and then like I said, I made the mistake of putting the plug on without showing you anything about it. So instead of having to remove it again and take the chance of me being more annoyed, I ended up just ordering that same exact plug again and spending another $20-something. And I know that sounds stupid, but it's for the video, so that's what we did. Well, that's what I did. So like I said, when I found out that I was gonna have to Dremel I was a little like concerned. I was like, all right, whatever. So I did go out and buy a couple new. So I did go out and buy a couple new tools. What can I fucking not speak here? So I did go out and buy a couple of new attachments, which I'm not using. Like I said, we talked about this. It's out of the way. Let's talk about this. We did Dremel in, well, we hacksawed in the spots for the screwdriver. I wasn't a big fan of this because of that. Like, what the fuck goes on? So like I said, I really wasn't a big fan of this because of that. I think this was a bit annoying. I was not a big fan of the O-rings that this came with. This came with 2 O-rings, and neither of them were gonna work for me. So basically, from what he told me I would have had to do, I would have had to take like silicone or something, and I you know, I'm not a big fan of improvising that much, especially when it comes to water getting in my vehicle. So I didn't want to Dremel a brand new vehicle. That's annoying. And I don't want silicone sitting around. That's also annoying. So this immediately was no longer an option for me. Too bad for me that I had already ordered a replacement to fix the scratches. I know, this is, let's start tallying this up. I've got probably $30 each, $30. I got 120 just on 2 of them. Then these 2, I don't know, I'm like almost $200 into caps, plugs. So I'm gonna start deleting people's wiper blades on the street at this point for free, just to get rid of these. I know that sounds funny, but that's probably what's gonna end up happening. Let's talk about these 2. What did we do here? Let's put this camera down. So these were the other 2 that I had bought. I'm just going to show you that there are other options out there. Just like the other thing, I didn't know about the flushness. And obviously these would all work if you took the Dremel. So if you want to Dremel, you know, by all means go and Dremel. You're not going to see it. We did test to look. The panel that goes back on the inside, it would block any marks that you make. So you could absolutely do that. So let's talk about this. This was from a suggestion for like a Honda. It came with 2 rubber gaskets, and I guess the design is this covers the window, goes in, and you take this until it bottoms out inside of it, have the gasket, take the cover, and then put the nut on the back of it. So that would be another option. This one's kind of cool if you think about it. It's a little bolt here, and it's got a washer behind that and a large rubber setup here. It looks like there's a tiny little O-ring in here, which upon further inspection doesn't seem like I would be too excited about putting that on my glass. I just don't want hard things touching, you know what I mean? Cool design though, I like it. It would be nice, it would last. It's nice to have it just in case. As far as the outside goes, I was kind of turned off because it has like these pock marks in it and this like rotational swirl everywhere. Yes, that does matter to me, believe it or not. I don't know why, but I'm a freak. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna time travel from the moment I'm filming this till 2 days from now when the second one arrives. I'm gonna show you everything I liked about that one and also how I installed it. And then I'm going to finish this video by showing you a little bit more of what it looks like on the car, hopefully in the daytime, so you can actually see. And that should fix and finish this debacle. After all of this and all of this expense, do I have regrets? Do I feel like I wasted money? Absolutely not. The look that I have now without this shit is so much better. It just cleans the whole rear end up. But you know how I get. I try to go in depth. I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing. I don't want, you know, silicone and Dremel all over my vehicle, because, you know, one day if I ever wanted to go back to this, I have all of the parts. I could just easily go back to this. Will I? Absolutely not. But when it's time to sell the vehicle, maybe the owner The new person wants this. I'll have this. I'm not gonna get rid of this. I don't just throw parts away. That's not what I do. So we're gonna teleport to another time, another night with the new plug, and we're gonna finish this video. Alright guys and gals, like I said, I'm gonna show you which plug, cap, cover, delete, mechanism, whatever you want to call it, which one I actually used for the Hawk. I don't know if people actually believed me when I said that I was ordering a whole brand new one, but I did. So if you search for a Z-Spec design billet wiper delete kit, it's completely not for the Jeep, but then again, none of these are. These are all made for other manufacturers. I'm just going to show you real quickly, try not to waste too much time, why this one, in my opinion, is superior. So you open it up. First of all, it's got one of the wider profiles. If you look at the size difference, it's pretty wide. This one's a little wide, still not as wide. It's got this wide, flat look, and I'll tell you what I love the most about this one, and then I'll tell you how I installed it. This is the piece that goes on the glass. Are you ready for this? This is the game changer right here. This company has, it's like a silicone membrane, and it just sits on the glass and it's watertight. That's it. Now here's what we did to install it into the Jeep. This is the way you're supposed to install it, like this, with the logo, and then you pick and choose which length set screw, I guess, whatever you would want to call it, goes in here, and now it's gonna go in through this, pull here, and tighten the whole situation. But the only way we would be able to do that is if we still took the Dremel and took off piece of the vehicle. My friend thought of this. So we have ours installed technically like this. I've been checking it. I haven't put the piece for the back in yet, and it's been perfect. What I might do, just for the hell of doing it, is take it back off and put a little blue Loctite on the actual screw. It hasn't backed out yet. I don't think it'll back out at all, to be honest with you. It's nice and snug, everything's perfect, but technically this is how mine looks, and this is what works. I really like this. So if you have a Jeep, look at how flat this thing is. It sits so good on the glass. I'll give you one last show of it. Now my window is dirty as hell. I just got rained on today, actually. Filthy dirty. The only thing I have to do to this is, do you see how some of that rubber is still sticking up a tiny bit? I'm gonna take an X-Acto knife after I actually go in and do the blue Loctite, but I'm gonna take an X-Acto knife, just trim it a tiny bit. But it's so clean, flush, perfect. I could not ask for any more. It honestly just gives such a good look. I'm very pleased. So that's it. That's the end of the video. I really didn't need to spend money on this. I could have actually taken this off if I was gonna put the blue Loctite on, but just in case I decided not to, plus I got a backup. Actually, I've got 4 backups, which is fine with me. I'm okay with that. It's money well spent. It's peace of mind for me, and my mind needs the peace, trust me. So as always, thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Hit that like button, hit that bell notification, share the video with your friends, do whatever you gotta do. If you are an OCD OG, thank you so much. I love you guys. I appreciate all the support, and I promise to keep trying to put out some cool videos for you guys. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys on the next one.